Well, what do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean you want more camera time? I'm the one that's doing all the work. Look, I'm the one that does the knitting. I'm the one that finds the pattern. I don't get it. I think you're just fine. I think this is the way we planned it. After all, it's not called Knit, Purl, and J. No, this staff meeting is over. No, I think the camera time you're getting is just fine. I think we need to go ahead and just call this meeting over, and let's get ready for our guests. They'll be here soon. Meeting done. Hi. I'm glad you came. I was hoping you'd make it. I'm Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Oh, before I forget, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And I want to wish the very best to your family and to mine. Well, come in and sit down, and we're going to chat and talk and just go over some things. I got things to show you, things to tell you. Oh, but you know what? I can't do anything at first till we say hello to Knit and Purl. Well, you know, I wasn't planning on doing after Christmas sale. And lo and behold, I went out. I went out to exchange something. I don't even know what. And I'm telling you, one thing led to another. And I came across these great deals, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to show my friends on the YouTube. I got to show you. So, let me begin at the beginning. I went to Tuesday morning. And I was just looking around. I didn't have anything in mind. I was on my way to the grocery store. And lo and behold, I came across, look. I says, now those are things I see at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Aren't those things that the scrapbook people use? And, oh, I stood there and I had to think a minute. And I kept thinking, you don't need to buy that. You're not a scrapbooker and you're really not really going to get into it. And then this is what I thought. What would Linda baby us do? She'd buy it. So I bought them. And let me show you what I bought. Okay. At Joann, I like because Tuesday morning always keeps the original price. This was $14.99. I got it for $4.99. Now, they may not be, you know, they buy overstock. So it may not be like something you might really were looking for. But I'm sure it's going to come in handy one day when I start trying to make a few things. Look at this. $19.99 for $4.99. I said, oh my gosh. Even with a coupon, that's cheaper than a 50% coupon. And then here's a cute one. Corner and Border Punch. It was $19.99 for $7.99. I thought, oh my word. That's about $60 or so I got for under $20. Now don't you think that was a good buy? And of course, as I was standing at the checkout counter, I couldn't resist. You know the new thing I'm doing. Boxes. What do you think of that one? I thought that was pretty. It says season's green, but it's still far away. You really can't tell it's Christmas. I think I can use it somewhere. Isn't that pretty? And then, you remember, I had to go to Joann's to take that light back. Take it back, no problem. Should have come out the store. But I went back to the other lamps just to check it out. And this is the lamp I really should have bought the first time. And it was 50% off. Now watch. And it has the flexible arm and a large magnifying glass. This is what I should have bought from the beginning, but I guess I just didn't see it. Oh, it pays to look, pays to take your time, but isn't that pretty? Take the other one back. Love this one. Oh yeah, I hate spending the money, but you know what I've learned? On down the road, I'll be able to enjoy this and be glad that I have it. So, another great buy from Joann's. And one more thing that I didn't intend to buy. Since my second video was so long, my tech son told me, I think you need to get your own camera for a lot of your pictures. So, bam! I am now officially owner of a camera. Of course, I don't know quite how to operate it yet, but I did take the still pictures you'll see. And I'm learning. And I have a surprise for you. I did a tutorial. On my new camera. So, what I want to say to you now is, well, what's on my needles? What's in my knitting bag? Check my tutorial out and you tell me if you like it. My tutorial today is a Pom Pom neck warmer. So let's get started. Well, let me tell you what you will need. You will need some yarn. I'm using Impeccable from Michaels. You could use Red Heart or Vanna, or yarn of your choice. You will need 2 double point needles. I'm using number 8. You will need a ruler and of course a pair of scissors. The first thing we want to do, we're going to make an I-cord. And I'm going to start it a little different because I'm going to show you how to make it easier to add the pom-poms later. So what I want you to do is take out a long string of the yarn, about 15 inches, and then pull the yarn together. Just bring it up, and where they come together at the end, just make your slip knot. Just make a knot over your finger, like you're doing regular knitting. Don't worry about that little tail. Put the slip knot on your needle, and now you have a tail with 2 strands and your working yarn. Okay, we need 2 more stitches. We need to make a 3-stitch I-cord. So I have the first one, that's 1. This is number 2. And 3. Here's what you should have. Now, if you never made an I-cord, it's quite simple and very easy to follow. Alright, when I'm doing the I-cord, first of all, the yarn will always be in the back of the needle. We will take care of this little tail later, so don't worry. Always give a nice little pull, and you always slide the stitches to the opposite end of the needle. And you knit as usual. Let's try it. One, 2, and 3. Pull and slide your stitches to the end of the needle. Okay, let's try this again. Working yarn in the back of the I-cord. Knit 1, knit 2, and knit 3. Pull and slide. This is what it should look like. Now if this little tail is going to get in your way, we can snip it off now. We're done with that for right now. We don't need that. We have the two-stranded tail. Alright, we're going to continue to knit this I-cord to start our pom-pom neck warmer. And I need you to knit it for 5 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, but here's what you should have, and I'll see you back at 5 inches. Well, I have my 5 inches, so the next row will be our very first increase row of our I-cord. So, slide your stitches to the end of the needle, and now I want you to knit the first stitch, knit into the front and into the back of the second stitch, keep it loose, and knit the last stitch. And we have 4 stitches. Pull and slide to the end, and let's continue. The next increase, remember that was our first increase, here's the second increase. This time I want you to knit 2 stitches. 1, 2, knit into the front and into the back of the next stitch, and knit the last stitch. Pull and slide. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time, let's go. Knit 2, 1, 2, knit into the front and the back of the next stitch, and knit the last stitches. Continue in this increase until there are 11 stitches on your needle. Well, now I have my 11 stitches. How about you? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 1 makes 11. Now we're going to continue, but in just regular knitting. No more increases. We simply keep our yarn to the back, and please keep it very loose. Very loose stitches. And we just start to knit this section of the I-cord. Very loose. And we knit all stitches. Pull. Isn't that nice? And slide. And repeat. And we will knit this portion of the I-cord necklace, neck warmer, for at least 12 inches. From this row till about 12 inches. See you after 12 inches. Well, I now have 12 inches knitted in my I-cord neck warmer. This is the portion that will go around your neck. And now we're ready to start our first row of decrease for the other end. So let's go. All right, we slide our work to the end of the needle. Our yarn is still in back, keep it loose. And our first row of decrease, you will knit 2 stitches, 1, 2. Now knit 2 stitches together, and then knit across the row. All right, first decrease made. Pull and slide. All right, let's continue. Knit 2, 1, 2, knit 2 together, and knit across the row. Okay, continue to decrease until there are 4 stitches on your needle, and we'll see you back at 4 stitches. I'm down to 4 stitches, and now we need to do our very last decrease to get down to 3. We started with 3 stitches, remember? So this last decrease, very simple. Simply knit the first stitch, knit the 2 together, and then knit the last stitch. And we're down to 3 stitches on our I-cord, ready to get to our other end. Now, just like we did in the beginning, we're going to knit these 3 stitches of our I-cord for at least 5 inches. So simply knit, pull, and slide for at least 5 inches. See you back in 5. Well, I'm down to my last 5 inches, and now we need to end our I-cord with a long tail as we begin the I-cord to attach our pom-pom. So for the last couple of rows, I simply want you to knit 1 stitch. Then I want you to make that long tail effect by bringing up some yarn, just like that. See, that's going to be our long tail. Now, just stick your needle in the next stitch and take both strands of yarn, go around the needle, and knit that right into the stitch. And then you can just drop that and pick up just the single working yarn and knit the last stitch. Pull and slide. And now you can kind of tug at that double stranded to make sure it's nice and tight also. Now we're going to knit 1 more row before we bind off, just to secure everything and put everything in place. 1, and don't forget to get those 2 strands as 1 stitch. 2, and the last stitch, 3. Now we're going to pull and tug and get everything nice and tight. Now we'll just bind off as usual. We will only with the tail, only with the working yarn. Knit 1, knit 2, pull first stitch over, knit the next stitch, pull that stitch over the first. Now we have a last loop on our on our needle. We can take our needles out. You can cut the working yarn now, just the working yarn. And of course run it through that last loop. And slowly pull it tight. Now I like to do this just so that I know that I don't have anything coming loose. I'll take that single strand and tie it with a little knot in place with the double strand, and I might do that a couple of times. And if you want to keep everything really neat, you can take a needle, and with the single strand you can just run it up the I-cord, just bury it in the back. Find the back of the I-cord and just run it up just to kind of bury it. Nothing fancy, just kind of get rid of it. You could have done that with the first one too. But we'll just run it up the back here and just get rid of that. It's weaved in as much as we need to. And snip the excess off. Okay, so now you have this terrific 2-strand cord that we will add our pom-pom. Okay, do that and I'll see you back with the pom-pom. Alright, we're down to the end. And as we get ready to make the pom-pom and add it, I like to take and lay my double strands that I'm going to tie it on with. Just lay it out flat before you even start your pom-pom. Now, I guess by now you've kind of figured out I'm old school. And before we had pom-pom makers, while you're looking for yours, I'm going to go ahead and make my pom-pom the old school way. Before pom-pom makers, we had 4 of these guys. You simply spread them out, wrap your yarn, and keep wrapping, keeping it loose, keeping it loose, keeping it loose, and wrap until you get it as large as you want, and then you simply slide it off your fingers like this. So now I've got one that I've already done. See how nice and thick that is? On my fingers. Did you find your pom-pom yet? Keep looking. Alright, here we go. I lay it there and I pull my ends up and I tie a really tight, pull it tight. Now watch, flip it over and tie it again. So much, you don't have to, with this double cord, you feel so much better having a nice double cord. And just for my own sake, for my own mind, I'll tie it a couple times. Tight, and if you want to tie it again, just go right ahead. It doesn't matter. It's your pom-pom. Okay. And you don't have to worry about cutting off the excess. All that will be taken care of. Okay. And so this is what you have. 2 flat-looking pom-poms. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how old school we fluff it out. Well, now to finish up our pom-poms and we will be done. Take your scissors and simply start cutting the top of the loops. Just kind of cut the top of the loops. If you miss one, you can always, don't worry, it will be taken care of. I've laid out some tissue paper because this part is quite messy. So I've done that. I'll just work on one for right now. Doesn't look very pretty, does it? Woo! Woo. Okay. Alright, do not fluff it out. Do not put it in a ball. Keep it flat. The flatter you keep it, the better we'll be able to trim it out. But just check for loops. Now, with it flat, not in a ball, you can eye it better, and you just simply start going around, taking your fingers and combing out some of the wild ones, and you just start lightly trimming. Just take your fingers, keeping it flat, just kind of move it around. Just keep going. Just don't cut your little, I kind of keep that down underneath between my fingers there. You don't want to cut that, but you just trim it off. You're combing it with your fingers as you go around, trying to find any crazy ones. And sometimes I find you have to turn it over and comb it from this side also to find, look at that one. Look how he jumped out, look. To find some of the crazy ones. And watch your tail, watch your connection there. You don't want to cut that. Just find you can see it better once while it's flat. Okay. Turn it back, check it again if you want to, and let's go ahead and shake this out. Shake our pom-pom. Look, shake your pom-pom maker. Oops, I see a little wild one there, look. Pull it up at the top. Shake it down. Sometimes you can. And voila! Here is your pom-pom I-cord neck warmer. Well, hope you look pretty. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think. Remember, it's just my first time. Old school. See you later. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I really wanted to show you how I make a cute little neck warmer with the little pom-poms. It's just something simple. But I felt like, well, we're going to start to knit together and crochet together. I wanted to see if I could do a full tutorial just for you. Now, last time at the end I talked about what's old. So I had to look around and I wanted to show you something that's old. And what was old that I found was this afghan that I had put away and had forgotten about it. It was back when we made large afghans, I guess for our beds, I reckon, I don't know. But they're heavy and they're large. Thank goodness we don't make these hardly anymore. We make them more for your lap now. But I wanted you to see the pattern and see how pretty, and it has a beautiful border. And it was just I had forgotten all about it, and I just happened to be looking for something, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to show my friends this. Now, do you remember this one? On my Christmas video, I was working on this one. This is one that I had forgotten about and found, and I decided to finish it. And it turned into a beautiful trellis type pattern. Isn't that really pretty? Just right for a cold night across your lap. I was so glad that I was able to, because I really couldn't find the pattern, but I was able to read the pattern from my own work and finish it. Thank goodness I had enough yarn. So that teaches me a lesson. Try to finish these projects. Okay, and one last thing I want to show you about in this segment of what's old. In my photos at the beginning of my video, I show you some of my favorite things. And you see a lot of my needles. Well, a friend gave me a set of needles one year. Either she or a friend of hers had gone to an estate sale and found this beautiful set of Boyd needles. So before there were Addies there were these beautiful needles. And I have enjoyed them. I have knitted with them, but mainly I just keep them up and just like to look at them. And whoever owned them even had some personal notes inside showing patterns that she was going to work on and different things, and even had the original Boyd flyer that came with the needles, and the set is complete. It is a complete set. So it looks like it's around the 60s, around the 60s or early 70s. So isn't that a nice surprise? Isn't that a nice what's old? So that's my what's old this time. Well, I hope you have enjoyed your visit. I've enjoyed you, and I can't wait to see you again. Please leave me a comment. I've enjoyed reading your comments. I thank you for the encouragement, and I'm so glad that you came, and I'm so glad to see you, and I hope that it won't be long that we'll see each other again. And I want you to let me know what you think. So, from Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, see ya!